What if I told you that attractiveness has almost nothing to do with how you look and almost everything to do with how you make people feel? Because here's what most people get wrong. They think attraction is a fixed thing. You either have it or you don't. But decades of psychological research say something completely different. Attraction is a skill. And today, I'm going to break down exactly how it works from the inside out. Welcome back. If you're new here, this channel is about understanding human behavior on a deeper level, so you can live, connect, and show up in the world more intentionally. Today, we're diving into something that touches all of us, the psychology of attraction. And I want to be clear from the start. This isn't about manipulation, quick fixes, or becoming someone you're not. This is about understanding why people are drawn to certain individuals and how you can authentically embody those qualities. Let's get into it. Part 1. The psychology of first impressions. Your brain forms a judgment in 100 milliseconds. Psychologist Nalini Ambady at Harvard ran a fascinating study where participants watched just 2-second silent clips of teachers, no sound, no context. They rated those teachers on warmth, competence, and likability. And those ratings? They matched the ratings students gave after an entire semester of classes. 2 seconds. That's how fast the human brain builds a picture of someone. Now here's where it gets interesting. That first impression isn't really about your face. It's about energy. It's about the way you carry yourself, the speed at which you move, the expression resting on your face when you think no one is watching. Psychologists call this thin slicing, our ability to extract meaningful patterns from very brief experiences. And the patterns people pick up on most? Confidence, warmth, presence. These 3 things form the invisible foundation of attraction. And the good news, all 3 can be developed. Part 2. Confidence, the real kind. Confidence isn't arrogance, it's emotional security. Let's talk about confidence, because it's probably the most misunderstood word in personal development. Most people think confidence means never being nervous, always knowing what to say, always having the room. But that's not confidence, that's performance, and people can feel the difference. Real psychological confidence, what researchers call secure self-esteem, is the quiet belief that you are enough, even when things are uncertain. It doesn't need external validation to survive. And here's why this is so attractive. When someone is genuinely secure in themselves, they stop competing, they stop seeking, and that ease, that groundedness is magnetically compelling to the people around them. Sociopsychologist Roy Baumeister found that people with stable, non-contingent self-esteem are rated as significantly more attractive in social interactions, not because they said anything particularly brilliant, but because they were comfortable. So how do you build this? It starts with one small shift. Stop outsourcing your self-worth. Every time you catch yourself thinking, what do they think of me? Redirect it. Ask instead, what do I think of this moment? What do I actually want here? It's a practice, but over time, it rewires how you show up.
Part 3. The warmth paradox. Here's something the self-improvement world almost never talks about. Warmth. Study after study in social psychology, including landmark research by Susan Fiske at Princeton, shows that warmth is the first dimension humans use to judge one another, before competence, before looks, before status. Why? Because evolutionarily, our brains needed to answer one question before anything else. Is this person a threat or an ally? Warmth is the answer to that question. And attractiveness, real, deep, lasting attractiveness, is rooted in making people feel safe around you, seen, valued, like they matter. Think about the most magnetic people you've ever met. Not the loudest, not necessarily the most beautiful, but the ones who, when you spoke to them, made you feel like you were the most interesting person in the room. That's warmth at work. In practice, warmth looks like genuine eye contact, not staring, but the kind that says, I'm here with you. It looks like remembering small details about people's lives. It looks like asking questions that go one layer deeper than the surface. These aren't tricks. They're expressions of genuine human interest. And when they're real, people feel it. Part 4. Presence, the rarest quality. In a distracted world, presence is everything. We live in the age of the half-present person. You know the one. They're nodding while checking their phone. They're in the conversation, but not in it. And because presence has become so rare, it has become profoundly attractive. Psychologist Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi, yes, the flow researcher, described presence as a state where your full cognitive and emotional resources are directed at the experience in front of you. And when someone is fully present with you, it's almost hypnotic. Here's the neuroscience behind it. When someone gives you their undivided attention, your brain releases oxytocin, the bonding hormone. You feel connected. You feel valued. You feel drawn to them. So if you want to become more attractive, in every sense of the word, practice being fully where you are. Not planning your next sentence while someone is talking. Not half listening while scanning the room. Actually here. It sounds simple. It's one of the hardest things to do, and it's one of the most powerful. Part 5. The identity layer. Attractive people know who they are. There's one more dimension I want to leave you with, and it might be the deepest one. Psychologist Dan McAdams talks about identity as a personal narrative, the story you tell yourself about who you are and where you're going. And research shows that people with a clear, coherent sense of identity are consistently rated as more attractive, more trustworthy, and more compelling. Why? Because clarity is magnetic. When someone knows what they value, what they stand for, and where they're going, there's a gravity to them. You can feel it. On the flip side, people who are constantly performing, shifting their personality based on who's in the room, seeking approval, afraid to take up space, this registers in others as inauthenticity, and inauthenticity is repellent at a primal level. So here's the question worth sitting with. Who are you when no one is watching? What do you actually care about? What lights you up? What are you moving toward? Build that, live that, and you won't need to try to be attractive. You'll simply be someone worth being around. So let's bring this all together. Attractiveness isn't a feature, it's a frequency, one that's broadcast through how secure you feel in yourself, how warmly you treat the people around you, how present you are in every interaction, and how clearly you inhabit your own identity. These aren't things you can fake for long, but they are things you can grow into, genuinely, over time. If one thing from today resonated with you, I'd love to know which one in the comments. And if you want to go deeper into the psychology of confidence, connection, and identity, subscribe, because that's exactly what this channel is about. Take care of yourself, and I'll see you in the next one.